Hi out there in the YouTube.
I hope the mic's going.
If it's not, no big deal. You'll still hear me, and life will go on. So I'm not going to make a big deal about it. And that's kind of what this whole video is going to be about. Is with love, forgiveness, and understanding. So we got this like trinity going on, huh? Love, forgiveness, and understanding. Love, forgiveness, understanding, okay? Now, you know what's in the middle of that? True awareness. Now, I'm going to put some of this in a bit of a metaphorical sense, only because I want people who are able to digest or to handle this information, only they will understand what I'm talking about. I highly suggest go and read the book of Soiga. I really like the Vedas. The Vedas is very true to my heart, and in a lot of videos from the past, I'm sure you would have noticed I always wear the Om. And this pendant that I'm wearing now, amulet that I'm wearing, is a symbol of the power of the Trinity. So it could still be used in a Vedic sense. So you can still have like Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu. Or you know what I mean? Like it still applies. And Shakti could still be in the middle. And all of the legends and mythologies still apply and still translate over, as well as in Western mythology, the use of the 12 zodiacs. But what does that all mean? Blah, right? Blah, right? Like, well, I've read like over 100 astrology books. I really have. And I've done videos to try to share that information with you guys. But like, in totality, like really what does it mean? And like why I love astrology so much is that it's able to share the unique sacred attributes that lie within every single individual. Now, God, I know a lot of you when you hear that word cringe. God. But God is nothing bad, okay? And the mere aspect that anyone, when they hear that word, cringes, goes to show you how perverted our world has become. When you don't even know the true meaning of words, like, and what you should feel when you hear their meaning. So God in himself, like there's so many different religions, right? Like all over the planet, there's just so many, right? I'm not going to name them all. You know them. I know them. They're there. Why is there conflict? Conflict is because of ego. because of people's history, because of not wanting to let go of things of the past. Just let them go. Just let them be. It doesn't mean judge them. It doesn't mean try to stomp them out. It just means project what you want to flourish and grow. Don't be, like, it doesn't mean that you have to go out and, like, you know, massacre other people to substitute in your beliefs, in their, you know, misplacement. What that means is look at what is the underlying message in all that. Like, God, who is love, and especially through studying astrology and all of the different religions that exist on our earth, in this realm, in this plane of thought, Jesus was really close to understanding true love. Well, sorry, not really close. He was all the way, okay? So the bridge was surpassed between this material realm and this material realm. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is that? If you really want to boil it all down. This world is made out of our thoughts. Our thoughts. My thoughts. Your thoughts. Everybody else's thoughts. And here's the epiphany, okay, that I really want you to try to instill. God created all of us. So, with love. But the only reason that, like, we in this world don't... We are creators too. Just like with the power that God instilled in us. It's like a fractal. You know, we're made in His image. Made in His image doesn't mean the same as His image. His likeness. We do create things. We make things. But we don't love them. Not in the way that God does. And the Holy Spirit, which loves unconditionally. You know, a spilled glass of milk. There is no difference between a spilled glass and an upright glass, other than the milk is no longer in the cup. It's not like a big traumatic experience. And I'm sorry to use such a trivial, small example, but it all started with one trivial, small example, like that. And it has flourished and turned into this giant existence that we call Earth. And it will forever be. There's not going to be a judgment day. Christianity, sorry Christianity, but you really perverted Jesus' message. And I think that you did so out of your natural tendency, just like everybody else. You're no different. All are equal. And you did it out of greed. You didn't want his message to be heard as it truly was understood. Because you wouldn't make any money from that. And yeah, the whole aspect of Jesus sacrificing himself, or in Christianity, or but not in Christianity, in sorry, in Hinduism, like Shiva, Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu, Shakti, and Prajapati, many of the heroes of their tales, of their stories, which embody meaning. Okay? So a lot of the stories, it doesn't matter if it's necessarily factually true, as in like the exact physical date, because none of this physical stuff is true. That is the whole point of it. So like when Jesus gave up his body and sacrificed himself, it was in no way a sacrifice. It was actually like a gift to everybody, because we are all one. And when we choose to see ourselves divided, like through astrology, I'll try to insert some images, because I know I've read hundreds of astrology books, but you haven't, unless you have. Please let me know if you have, and what you think of this content. But God, I've always kind of thought, is like the middle of the wheel, you know? Let your spirit grow wings and fly with me. and fly with me. Like in astrological, if we're speaking astrology, he'd have to understand it all. And what's the only point in the astrological wheel that has all of it? The very middle. But the very middle is not like any of the abstract parts, because it's whole. And it couldn't be whole if it judged and separated. It is just all of it together. And it's such a beautiful thing that I'm trying to show you. Like if you can imagine a forest of birds with the trees and blooming flowers and the fragrant smell, the gentle breeze, the grass just swaying ever so slightly. Beautiful day, right? The ego. That's what's here in the first place. That's what made all of this come to be. Was that we didn't want acceptance. We didn't want to be a part of the whole or the middle, which contains it all. We wanted to be apart. And that's okay too, because being apart only leads to coming back together. So it's not really a big deal. But the true lesson in all of this is just understanding that everyone's path, everyone, no exception at all. Everyone's path is sacred, you know? And even through studying the Vedas with Artha, Kama, Dharma, and Moksha, the 4 different life paths, which I would recommend you look up in the Vedas, all of those paths were considered sacred, okay? I'm not going to go into them in this video because I've done that. But look it up if it's of interest to you. And try to understand that if you are just a part of God, or the wheel, yes, through studying other astrological placements, you can get an understanding. Which is good, that's great, that's what I love about astrology. You know that, a blueberry needs acidic soil. So, it's, you can give it the conditions it likes. It doesn't mean you're gonna think that that's a bad thing because you don't like acidic soil. I'm sorry, that's a really basic example. But gotta start with the basics. And you, using your mind and your intellect, can try to build upon them. But know that, like, the mind and the intellect, if it's trying to seek division, is not in tune with how the Holy Spirit would like you to be. Which is just loving. Enjoy the day that God made for you. Mwah. Give me a thumbs up. Bye for now.